All right, buckle up, because today we're diving into the world of J.C.R. Licklider.
Licklider.
A name you might not know.
Right.
But trust me, his fingerprints are all over how we use technology today.
Yeah.
We've got a mountain of your research on him.
I did a deep dive for you guys.
And yes, you did. We're going to pull out the gold. Why this guy is considered a visionary in computing and AI, even though he wasn't,
Yeah, he wasn't like hunched over a keyboard all night, no.
the coding all night.
No.
Yeah.
He's the ideas guy.
Okay.
The one who lays out a vision.
Okay.
So audacious, so ahead of its time that it takes decades for the rest of the world to catch up.
Right.
And that's precisely what makes Licklider so fascinating.
So for those hearing about him for the first time, let's start with the basics. Who was J.C.R. Licklider?
Well, his name was Joseph Carl Robnet Licklider. Lick to his friends.
Lick.
Always a good sign, right?
I like it already.
Now, if you were picturing a stereotypical computer science whiz, think again. Licklider's background was actually in psychology and neuroscience.
Wow, talk about a plot twist. That's not the usual path to becoming a computing legend.
And that's precisely what makes Licklider so intriguing.
Right.
He wasn't just thinking about building faster machines, he was obsessed with the human mind.
Okay.
How we think, how we solve problems, how we interact with the world.
Yeah.
And that gave him a unique perspective on how computers could become something truly revolutionary.
I'm starting to see why this deep dive is so important.
Yeah.
So we've got a psychology expert in the mid-20th century when computers are still these massive room-filling calculators.
Right.
What happens next?
Fast forward to 1960.
Okay.
Licklider publishes a paper that's basically a message in a bottle to the future.
Okay.
It's called Man-Computer Symbiosis.
Man-computer symbiosis.
And in it, he lays out this incredibly prescient vision.
Okay, I have to ask, what does man-computer symbiosis even mean?
Right.
It sounds like something out of a science fiction novel.
Right. But that was Licklider, always thinking decades ahead.
Right.
He wasn't talking about machines replacing us.
Okay.
He envisioned a partnership. Humans and computers working together, each playing to their strengths.
Okay.
Think Iron Man, not the Terminator.
Okay, that's a much more appealing image. But how did he see this partnership actually playing out?
So,
What would this collaboration look like in real life?
Licklider argued that computers should handle the things that humans find tedious and difficult.
Okay.
Crunching huge data sets, making lightning-fast calculations, storing vast amounts of information,
Right.
freeing our brains to do what WE do best, think creatively, make judgments, exercise intuition,
Right.
all those uniquely human qualities that computers at that time and even today really struggle to replicate.
So it's about leveraging the strengths of both sides to achieve something greater than either could alone.
Precisely.
Okay.
Licklider envisioned a future where computers would become extensions of our minds, helping us think more effectively, solve complex problems, and even understand ourselves better.
This is all starting to sound very familiar, even though we're talking about ideas from over 60 years ago.
Right.
It's like he predicted the future of technology.
He did in a lot of ways.
But was anyone actually listening to him back then?
Oh, they were listening.
Okay.
And here's where Licklider's story takes an interesting turn.
Okay.
He didn't just write about these ideas.
Okay.
He put them into action.
How so?
He became the director of the Information Processing Techniques Office, or IPTO,
IPO.
at RPA, which later became the DARPA we know today.
Wait, DARPA. As in the agency that funds those cutting edge, sometimes a little bit out there, tech projects.
A one and only.
Wow. Okay.
And Licklider wasn't just pushing papers. He had the power to choose which projects got funded, which ideas would shape the future.
Right.
You could say he had a pretty significant impact.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
So with the future of computing kind of in his hands, what did Licklider choose to champion?
Well, remember that wild idea of a decentralized network of computers? Where information could be shared seamlessly across vast distances?
You mean the internet?
You got it.
Wow.
Licklider saw the potential of what we now call the internet way back then, long before it became a reality.
Right.
And under his leadership, DARPA funded the development of ARPANET, the precursor to the internet as we know it.
No way.
Yeah.
So he wasn't just a visionary when it came to AI. He helped lay the foundation for the internet itself.
He did. He really did.
This is blowing my mind.
And it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
He was also a huge proponent of something called time-sharing systems.
Time sharing, remind me what that is again?
Imagine multiple people all using the same computer at the same time.
Right.
It might seem obvious now,
Right.
but back then it was a radical idea.
Right.
Computers were these expensive, exclusive machines that only one person could use at a time.
Right.
Time sharing changed all that, making it possible for researchers to share resources, collaborate more effectively, and ultimately accelerate the pace of innovation.
It's amazing to think about how these seemingly simple ideas, connecting computers in a network, allowing multiple users at once, completely revolutionized the world.
Right.
And it all traces back to Licklider's vision.
It does. And these weren't just abstract concepts to him.
Right.
Licklider saw these innovations as crucial steps toward achieving that man-computer symbiosis he believed in so strongly.
Right, right.
This idea that by bringing humans and computers closer together,
Yeah.
we could unleash incredible potential both for ourselves and for the future of technology.
We're back, and I have to say, learning about J.C.R. Licklider is really shifting my perspective on the history of technology.
Yeah.
I always thought of the internet and AI as these separate revolutions, but he saw them as two sides of the same coin, didn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this next part is where that connection becomes crystal clear.
Okay.
We're going to dive into Licklider's influence on a field called cognitive AI.
Okay.
The kind of AI that's not just about crunching numbers,
Right.
but actually trying to understand how the human mind works.
Which makes perfect sense, given his psychology background.
Yeah.
It's like all the pieces of his story are starting to fit together.
It's no coincidence.
Yeah.
Licklider believed that by building machines that could think like us,
Okay.
we could also learn more about how we think.
Right?
It was a two-way street,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of both computing and our understanding of the human mind.
That's fascinating. But how do you even begin to create AI that mimics the human brain?
Right.
We're talking about the 1960s here, right?
Early days.
Didn't they need much more advanced technology to even attempt that?
You're right. It was early days for neuroscience, and computing power was a fraction of what we have today.
Right.
But that's where Licklider's vision was so important.
Okay.
He helped to shift the entire focus of AI research.
Okay.
Before his time, a lot of AI was about trying to program computers with all the rules and knowledge they need to think like humans.
Sort of like those old chess-playing computers that relied on brute force calculations to try and beat a human, right?
Exactly. It was all about logic and brute force processing.
Right.
But Licklider saw the limitations of that approach.
Okay.
He believed that truly intelligent machines, the kind that could truly partner with humans,
Yeah.
needed to learn and adapt just like we do.
Okay. I'm intrigued, but now I'm really curious.
Yeah.
How do you actually build a machine that can learn?
Well, one of Licklider's greatest strengths was his ability to bring together brilliant minds from diverse fields.
Okay.
And it was in this melting pot of ideas, with computer scientists rubbing shoulders with psychologists and
Right.
engineers collaborating with neuroscientists,
Yeah.
that the seeds of a truly revolutionary concept were sown. Artificial neural networks.
Neural networks. I've heard that term, but to be honest, I'm a little fuzzy on what it actually means. Could you break it down for me?
Imagine trying to recreate the human brain, but vastly simplified.
Okay.
These neural networks were essentially computer systems,
Okay.
designed with layers of interconnected nodes. Each node, like an artificial neuron, would receive bits of information and pass it along, mimicking the way our brains process information through a complex web of interconnected neurons.
So instead of programming the computer with all the answers, they were trying to build a system that could figure things out on its own by recognizing patterns in data, just like our brains do.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of neural networks. They learn from experience.
Yeah.
Feed them enough data, images, text, sounds, and they start to identify patterns, make connections, and even make predictions.
Wow.
All without being explicitly programmed with every single rule.
That's incredible. So how did these early neural networks actually perform? Were they any good?
Well, considering the limitations of computing power back then,
Right.
they were still in their infancy.
Right.
But even those early experiments showed tantalizing glimpses of the potential that Licklider saw.
Do you have any examples of these early successes?
One of the most iconic is a program called Perceptron, developed in the late 1950s.
Perceptron.
Now, it was very basic by today's standards,
Right.
but it could learn to recognize simple patterns,
Okay.
like identifying different letters of the alphabet.
Okay, so maybe not composing symphonies just yet,
Right.
but still a remarkable achievement for the time.
Exactly. It was a proof of concept.
Yeah.
It showed that you could build a machine that could learn through trial and error,
Right.
rather than just following pre-programmed instructions.
Right.
And that was a fundamental shift,
Yeah.
largely inspired by Licklider's vision.
It's amazing to think how far AI has come since those early days.
Oh, yeah.
But it's clear that Licklider and his contemporaries were laying the groundwork for a technological revolution.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And his influence didn't stop at neural networks. He also made significant contributions to another field that's crucial for AI, natural language processing.
Oh, right. That's all about getting computers to understand and use human language. Right. Like the voice assistants we use every day.
You got it.
Right.
And this was another area where Licklider saw immense potential for that man-computer symbiosis he was so passionate about.
So how did he help advance the field of natural language processing? What were some of his key contributions there?
Well, Licklider recognized early on that if computers were going to be truly useful partners to humans, they needed to be able to communicate with us in a way that felt natural and intuitive.
He wanted to move beyond those clunky interfaces and complex programming languages that only a select few understood.
Precisely. He envisioned a world where we could interact with computers as easily as we converse with each other.
Right.
And to make that vision a reality, he funded numerous projects at DARPA, focused on pushing the boundaries of natural language processing.
What were some of the key areas of research that Licklider focused on?
They were tackling some really challenging problems, developing programs that could understand spoken commands, translate between languages, and even generate human-like text.
Wow.
These were all ambitious goals at the time.
Right.
But Licklider's support helped lay the groundwork for the incredible advancements we're seeing in natural language processing today.
It's amazing how much of what he envisioned is now part of our daily lives.
It really is.
From the voice assistants on our phones to the sophisticated language translation tools we use every day, Licklider's influence is undeniable.
It's a testament to his visionary thinking.
Yeah.
He wasn't just trying to solve the problems of his time.
Right.
He was looking decades ahead.
Right.
Anticipating the needs of a future where humans and machines would work together seamlessly.
Yeah.
And those early investments in natural language processing have had a profound impact on the way we live and work today.
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
He really has.
From Licklider's unusual background to his groundbreaking work at DARPA. It's clear he wasn't just a dreamer, but a doer who really shaped the tech landscape we take for granted today.
Absolutely, yeah. He wasn't just, theorizing about this stuff.
Right.
He was out there making it happen, getting his hands dirty.
Yeah, making it happen.
Building the teams, securing the funding.
Yeah.
Really pushing for this vision.
And it's easy to get caught up in the specifics of neural networks.
Right.
Or ARPANET.
Yeah.
But what's even more fascinating, I think, is the thread that connects all of Licklider's work. What is that?
What do you think that thread is?
Well, to me, it's this. He had this really deep-seated belief in augmenting human intelligence. Not replacing it.
Right.
He saw AI not as a threat.
Okay.
But as a tool to empower us, to help us reach our full potential.
That's a really refreshing perspective, especially with all the anxieties around AI today,
Oh, absolutely.
He really seemed to believe in this harmonious partnership between humans and machines.
Which is
kind of beautiful when you think about it.
It is beautiful.
Because there's so much fear surrounding AI right now.
Right, exactly.
And he saw it. He saw the potential pitfalls. He wasn't naive to those.
Right.
But he also saw this incredible opportunity to create something that could truly benefit humanity.
And that's a powerful takeaway from Licklider's legacy, I think.
Yeah.
It reminds us that technology should be designed to serve humanity, not the other way around.
100%.
We're in the driver's seat.
We are.
And it's up to us to steer these advancements in a direction that benefits everyone.
I like that. Yeah, we're in the driver's seat. We get to choose where we go with this.
Yeah, and so much of what we've discussed, the internet, AI, the way we interact with technology today, it all has roots in Licklider's vision.
It does. It's amazing.
What an incredible legacy.
Yeah, he really was a visionary.
It makes you think, what will our technological legacy be?
Right.
Licklider looked decades into the future. He didn't just adapt to the changing technological landscape. He shaped it.
And I think that's what we need to be doing now, right?
Yeah.
We need to be thinking about, okay, what's next?
Right.
What are the problems we want to solve?
Yeah.
What kind of future do we want to create with technology?
That's a powerful thought to leave us with.
Yeah.
As we benefit from Licklider's vision, it's our turn to think big, to envision the kind of future we want to create with technology.
Absolutely.
Who knows what amazing possibilities are just around the corner waiting for someone to connect the dots, right?
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, our deep dive into J.C.R. Licklider's world will inspire someone listening to do just that.
I hope so. This has been an incredible journey. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the life and legacy of J.C.R. Licklider, a true pioneer of the digital age.
Absolutely, he really was.